This just in. It's that time again for a wrestling show to take a very cynical look back at, representing the WWE and live from Orlando, Florida. It's the NXT. Air date November the 7th, 2023. This episode is, of course, the road to Deadline. So, let's carry on with the show and let's go. 1, 2, 1,
2, 3. Lip really loves wrestling. He likes to talk about it too. If you like to watch wrestling like he do, come and join us on the wrestling show. On the wrestling show. On the wrestling show. Baby.
Well, Bo. Welcome to the wrestling show. I'm your most fickle host, Lip Hazlewood, and this is a very cynical look back at the latest episode of the NXT. Now, before we dive into the large show today, just a quick shout out to the non-competitors. That's right. They are the glue that holds the building together. First and foremost, representing the man. Now, he's not there again today, even though they show backstage where they show his office, where they're going in and out of his office, finding out, oh, the news. But he's not there today. So he's the man who takes away championship belts if he needs to. It's Shawn Michaels. Next, of course, getting all the pre-match interviews and all the backstage scoops. They are the team of... let's see here now. Mackenzie Mitchell and Kelly Kincaid. And of course, heading into the ring, letting everybody know who's about to fight and the results of such matches, it is Alicia Taylor. And last but certainly not least, it's the commentary crew. The play-by-play guys, the hosts, and I call them the narrators of the whole damn show. They are the team of the two-time, that's right, the two-time Hall of Famer. He's the man with the champagne wishes, the checks and champagnes, the championships, the checks and championships on his mind. You know? He is, of course, none other than a Shucky Ducky, a Quack Quack. It's a Booker T! And backing up Booker T, he's a tippity-top commentator in his own right. He is, of course, always the voice of reason. It's Vic Joseph! Now, without any further cadoos, let's get started with the show, the big show. And there's like 6 big matches on a night tonight on the card. But we start off with something big. It is, of course, none other than the Heritage Cup Championship match. Now, your reigning and defending champion, it is, of course, representing the Metaphor. It's Noam Dar. One of the greats out there. I think Metaphor can do a whole lot more, but they're just a comedy troupe right now. And with Metaphors, of course, their team, of Oro Menza, Lash Legend, and Jakira Jackson versus Akira Tozawa. After Akira Tozawa stole the Heritage Cup and took it to his house, the haunted house, and then they got the match. So, yeah. So, representing the Alpha Academy, it's Akira Tozawa. It's true. Now with him, of course, it's the rest of the Alpha Academy. It's Chad Gabla, rhymes with Tabla, Otis, and Maxine Dupree. All there. All rooting on the team. So what about this? Now, this is the Heritage Cup Championship match. Heritage Cup rules, of course. There's 6 rounds. The best of, whoever gets 2 wins. And you don't have to go through 6 rounds. So, yeah, you need 2 of 3 falls, so to speak. And, and the winner is, that's how it goes. And, of course, there are 3-minute rounds. and 20 seconds in between rounds. How does this go? First round here, nothing happens. Nothing happens until the end of the round, of course, where they get on one of the big spots, which is they get onto the very secondest of ropes for a mediocre plex, the biggest mediocre plex you can see in this match. So yeah, Akira Tozawa gets ripped off the second rope there and thrown onto the ground with a suplex. Now, second round. Now, this match here was, like I say, this was about 13 and a half minutes. About 13 and a half minutes. It was a barn burner. It's really good. This was a really good match. Let's face it. This was a good match. Akira Tozawa, he looked good. Noam Dar looked great. Noam Dar can fight with anybody. Noam Dar is one of the all-time greats, I think. He's just, he's a champion, but he's, I think they should give more responsibilities, more, in the NXT, bring his team up to another level. Not just a comedy troupe, but an actual wrestling team. So the second round, of course, a schoolboy. Noam Dar, he was getting his butt kicked a little bit by Akira Tozawa. Kira goes for a kick, misses a kick, like a yes kick style. And he gets rolled up. Done for. Schoolboy. Okay. Third round. No one wins the third round. But at the end of the round, Noam Dar gets the back of Akira Tozawa and starts laying down the elbows on the top of his head. Illegal! The round's over. So Noam Dar thinks he can get the best of Akira Tozawa. But however, now round 4 comes in mind. Comes to the roll-in play. And apparently, Akira Tozawa, just a house on fire again. A massive tope suicida between the second and third ropes. Eventually gets an ankle lock. An ankle lock. Not a typical finisher for Akira Tozawa. So it's interesting to see that as a finisher. So that after the ankle lock, Noam Dar taps out. Of course, round 5. Round 5 was a lot of Akira Tozawa. This round was a fast-paced match round. Akira Tozawa was literally throwing around Noam Dar in the ring there. A couple of massive German suplexes, non-release suplexes, really huge, just suplexing the holy hell at Noam Dar. But eventually, it had to come down to interference. Because after all, it's a metaphor. They're the bad guys. They got to interfere. Now, the Alpha Academy, they don't cheat. They're like the Chase U. They're like the good guys, so they don't cheat. So they don't do enough to help out, Akira Tozawa. So Akira goes up the top rope there for his massive Santon bomb, where Oro Menza comes up there to the ropes there to stall him a bit. Referee turns his back like, "Oh, what are you doing there? Oh, don't get the hell off the red ring, you son of a gun." While he does that, Akira Tozawa sets up for his massive, Santon. Lash Legend comes into play and pulls, Noam Dar to safety. And Akira Tozawa Santons nobody but the ground. Now, theoretically, when Akira Tozawa hits the Santon on somebody, he's all right. He can go for the pin, But when you miss it, look out! It's like the worst pain he can get, apparently. So the match goes on. Noam Dar goes back in the ring there. One Nova roller later, big old Inzaguri, the Shining Wizard, or the Inzaguri to the face, not Shining Wizard, Inzaguri to the face. Whammo, bammo. Thank you, Mamo. It's over. Akira Tozawa loses again. But hey, it is Noam Dar with the fresh victory. Great. Now, Akira Tozawa, he lost also the other day to Shinsuke Nakamura. So, massive losing streak. Noam Dar, it was a good match, but we all know who was going to win this match before it started. We all knew, but here you go. But for the, I guess, moral victory, in somewhat ways, it is the Alpha Academy. Oro Menza, he's left in the ring there, and Chad Gable gives him his patented German non-release slow motion suplex. And then it's Otis with a massive splashy splash. Just squashes the holy hell of Ormenza. And then we go backstage with a bunch of women, getting into it. But it comes down to this. It is Ariana Grace trying to be the better person, trying to install confidence in all the women back there. And then it's Carmen Petrovic. She's got a problem with Ariana Grace. She tells her to shut up. She just want to hear anything that Ariana Grace has to say. I don't know why she's got it in for her, Ariana Grace is the, beauty queen. And, Cameron Petrovic, she's a martial artist. They're in two different worlds. So what's that all about? So anyways, moving on. We go into the ring there with your new NXT champion. It is Lyra Valkyria. Then she's out there and she talks about, her journey and whatnot. Meeting her hero, not only meeting her hero, but beating her hero at Halloween Havoc to become your new women's champion of the NXT, baby. And then that's when the hocus hullabaloo happens outside the ring there. It's Xia Li coming back home to the NXT. Xia Li apparently yesterday on Monday Night Raw, she kicked Becky Lynch in the face, knocking Becky Lynch out of the Battle Royal they were having for the number one contendership, and therefore she was kicked out of the Battle Royal too. And now she's looking for gold, and she's going back to NXT. Maybe she can do something that maybe she can get the NXT gold. But who knows? Xia Li, she's literally been doing almost nothing. She's had like one match this year, maybe two matches this year. It's good to see her get back on pace, back on track with something. And will it be at the expense of Lyra Valkyria? Maybe. Anyways, so before they really get into it, they had some bodyguards in there to some security, so to speak, some security, quote unquote security, where Xia Li actually ends up spin kicking one directly in the face, knocking him out cold. That's what you heard after that kick. He goes down. Yes, and then they get into it. They get face to face. Now, speaking face to face, we go backstage now with the Alpha Academy. Chad Gable, Otis, Maxine Dupree, and Akira Tozawa. That's right, the meme. He still lives strong, baby. And it's Chad Gable going this, hey, you know what? You got to take it easy. You got to start low and work your way up. You can't take these opponents and start winning. And it's hilarious. It's not like it's Akira Tozawa's first rodeo here. He's been in the business for a long time. So starting from the bottom again, is like, really? He's been there for a long time. A long, long time. But anyways, Akira Tozawa is zero fur in the Alpha Academy. And that's where Drew Gulak and his squad, Drew Gulaks, the Gobbity Gulaks they're called, Hey, we're the Gobbity Gulaks. We follow Drew around. So it's Charlie Dempsey. What's that? Miles Bourne and Damon Kemp. And then they get in the face of them. Turns out to be Otis. He wants some. Drew Gulak. And the Gobbity Gulaks were like, you got it. And it wasn't quite like that. But it's going to be a match. Otis versus Drew Gulak. And will we finally see an Otis victory? I think so. It's in the NXT, so he will always get that. And it's Drew Gulak. Come on now. So now with that, we have a referee coming out of quote unquote Shawn Michaels' office with the news that hey, he's got this match he's got to officiate, and it's Dijak versus Tyler Bate. No, it's Braun Breaker versus Von Wagner. Braun Breaker versus Von Wagner. And there has to be a winner. And so they might be fighting outside for a bit. So basically, this guy's only job is to count to 3 or to see who gives up or not. That's it. No disqualifying nobody. So it's ridiculous. So they might as well have just made it a no DQ match. Anyways, moving on. We go to our next match. It is a Iron Survivor qualifying match. Iron Survivor's qualifying match. It is Tiffany Stratton, the great Tiffany Stratton, versus Fallon Henley, and Fallon choosing not to have Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen out of her corner to watch the match. This match was 10 minutes. This was a barn burner. This was a knuckle duster. This was a great match. This was a really, really good match. This whole night was packed full of great matches. Period. This was a good night for wrestling. And no doubt about this. This was, like I say, great match. About 10 minutes. I was shocked. I didn't think it would be that long. But you know what? They filled it with some great wrestling. Some great wrestling back and forth there. Tiffany Stratton, fighting through some good submission holds. Like the, Boston Crab. The big move. The big spot of the night. Tiffany Stratton catches Fallon Henley. She rolls through. She picks her up. And then she throws her outside of the ring. She gets her like a power slam position. And then she throws her outside the ring from the second rope. Between the first and second rope. Throws her outside the ring. Fallon Henley takes a nice back bump out there. It was a big, massive spot. Love that spot. Fans love it too. So, after that, Fallon Henley was put into the ring there, and then it's Tiffany Stratton doing her new thing, her heel techniques, where she crotches Fallon on the ring post, and then she rips her leg across the ring post there, injuring the knee a little bit, injuring the knee just a little bit. So that will come into play later on. They carry on. The fight carries on. Tiffany Stratton gets her, fireman's carry, senton onto Fallon Henley. To the corner, she goes for the prettiest moonsault ever. However, the first attempt at it, she misses. Fallon Henley wasn't out enough. She rolls out of the way. Tiffany Stratton rolls through. However, Tiffany Stratton follows up with a massive shoulder tackle right to the knee. Take out the leg. And she did. She wiped out Fallon Henley's leg. And then after that, she goes to the ropes again for the prettiest moonsault ever. Take 2. And she squashes Fallon Henley with that big, massive moonsault. Most beats, yeah. It is his Tiffany Stratton. By far one of the best out there, I think. Fearless. She's got the athletic prowess. She looks great. Yeah. And she can put a match together. It looks great. And this match was wonderful. Anyways, moving on. And we go backstage. It's with Mackenzie Mitchell and Wesley. And basically, Wesley's return to the NXT. And Wesley says, he had to escape. He had to get out of the situation so he can get his head and his body right. And then we got ourselves the Viking funeral. The burning ship. It's, he's now called Angry Corbin. Angry Corbin comes in, starts rambling on about nonsense, this and that. And that instantly gets on Wesley's list of people who he's going to beat up. So yeah, after that, we got ourselves a little bit of the Kelly Kincaid with some Braun Breaker, some pre-match interview talking about, Von Wagner. And this is it for Von Wagner, according to Braun Breaker, So basically, are you concerned about what's going on? And Braun Breaker's like, I'm gonna desecrate to whatever's left of the corpse of Von Wagner. So wow, those are big words, So here we go. In this match here, we got ourselves a little bit of the right off the bat. This one here is about 5.5 minutes. So the match was a lot of fun. Von Wagner has a quick start in the match. But however, something happens in the match. Von Wagner, he gets all dizzy. Oh! Robert Stone makes sure he's okay. You okay, brother? You okay, brother? He's okay. But Braun Breaker did take over for a bit. They end up taking the match outside where Von Wagner clears off the commentating table for some sort of power bomb. But Von Wagner fights through the power bomb. He throws Von Wagner into the steel steps. They fought outside there for about a minute. About a minute out there. Solid minute. And it's a good thing the referee didn't bother counting because, he couldn't have a disqualification. According to what Shawn Michaels told him, that he was supposed to be there. Anyways. What's that? Robert Stone, he tries to help out. He brings in a chair. Right? The referee's like, you can't interfere with this. This is no disqualification. I just have relaxed rules, okay? So you can't do that. So while he's doing that, Braun Breaker takes full advantage and crotches the holy hell out of, Von Wagner. Von Wagner goes down, and I guess Braun Breaker wants to take out some more of, Robert Stone. But, of course, it's Von Wagner saving Robert Stone from imminent danger. And it turns out Von Wagner gets speared out of his boots outside the ring. Mm-hmm. So after the minute outside the ring there, he did get back in the ring there. And when Von Wagner gets speared yet once more time, and his boots come flying right off. They didn't fly off, but he does get speared pretty damn good, which ended the match. Braun Breaker with the big old victory. But however, it's Robert Stone comes in with the chair shot. He hits Braun Breaker with the chair. Braun Breaker flinches a little bit. He felt it. Robert Stone rolls outside the ring there. Braun Breaker after him. But then he's met by Von Wagner, who's just cleared his cobwebs out, And he ends up powerbombing Braun Breaker through the commentating table. Mm-hmm. Just like that. And then it's Robert Stone and Von Wagner. They hug vigorously. Vigorously they hug outside the ring. So then with that, we go backstage now with Mackenzie Mitchell. With Mackenzie Mitchell, and she's got a couple words. She wants to talk to Carmelo Hayes. She wants to know about Trick Williams' return. Now, apparently, when Trick Williams returned, it was during the match between Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov. Carmelo Hayes was going for nothing but net to finish off the match. Trick Williams, music blares, and then Carmelo Hayes like, oh, what's going on? Is that a ghost? Is that a ghost? And next you know what, Trick Williams cost Carmelo Hayes the match. He ended up getting, thrown off the thing and getting, the torpedo mosquitoed. Mm-hmm. Anyways, but he does have to give Trick Williams an explanation or something. Something's going on. Who attacked Trick Williams back, the other day when they're supposed to have the match for number one contendership, So Carmelo Hayes feels he needs to go to the ring and call out Trick Williams, and that'll be later on tonight. So as for now, we go into the ring there with a tag team match in the women's division. It is Electra Lopez and Lola Vice, your breakout tournament winner, versus Kehlani Jordan and Roxanne Perez. Now, coming to the ring there, watching the match at the ramp area, is your very own, beauty queen, beauty contestant, it's something like that. Ariana Grace, she comes out there and she wishes everybody good luck, and she loves everybody. And she sits down and continues to watch the match. In the match here, it was now. One thing for sure, it is this finally Kehlani Jordan. She's with someone who can definitely steer her in the right direction, and they can work off each other because I think they're a great force in wrestling. It's, of course, Roxanne Perez and Kehlani Jordan, them as a team. The possibilities are definitely endless, I tell you what. So yeah, it looks great for them. So it's going to be great. This was a one hell of a match. It was a tag team match. The ropes, it was a clean match. It was as clean as you can get. This was definitely a clinic for tag team action. You know, how do you do a tag team properly without making it look like a mess? So this was great. Very competitive and clean. Great stuff. Kehlani Jordan, amazing dropkick. She has got one great standing dropkick. She almost hits the face of Lola Perez. You know, or Lola Vice, I should say. Now here it is. Lola Vice and Electra Lopez, their big move is they do a double hip bump onto, Roxanne Perez. That's their big move. So you know their level is pretty down there, pretty low level of wrestling. It's unfortunate. Roxanne, Electra and Lola. But Roxanne and, what's that, Kehlani? Damn, they put on a clinic today. It was really damn great. Now, eventually. Now, here's one thing. With the Kehlani Jordan, she does this a cartwheel bump. She does the cartwheel bump onto somebody, and now it's becoming she does a cartwheel to a flying back elbow. A flying back elbow, apparently that's what it is. She knocks Lola Vice with a flying back elbow, cartwheel. Flying back elbow. That's what it's becoming. So I guess that's good. She got a lot of momentum going on that. So it looked pretty good. Now eventually, Roxanne Perez, she gets tagged in. Roxanne ends up knocking both Lola Vice and Electra Lopez. Lola Vice gets rolled out of the ring there. Electra Lopez is in the ring with Roxanne Perez, who gets the pop rocks. She gets pop rocked right in the corner there. She ends up tagging in, Kehlani Jordan. Roxanne Perez then tope suicidas between the first and second rope. She crushes Lola Vice outside the ring. For Kehlani Jordan, she does her finishing move. I'm not a big fan of it. It's flashy, I suppose, but it's not a good finisher. It could be a great setup. It is, of course, the split leg moonsault. And that is it for the Electra Lopez and Lola Vice. It is over for them. Then a better team won, the Kehlani Jordan. Roxanne Perez with Kehlani Jordan getting the victory over top of, Electra Lopez now outside the ring. It is Ariana Grace. She wants to take all the flowers, so she makes the announcement of who won and not. Who won the match. And then it's, Carmen Petrovic comes in there and just smokes her. For some reason. I guess it's a storyline. I don't mind it. I just would like to see some more Carmen. She's great in the ring there. She's so comfortable in that ring. I mean, this is not the greatest of angles, but hey, it is what it is. Now, next up, we got ourselves another tag team match. No, it's not a tag team match at all. It's a one-on-one match. It is the Alpha Academy, Otis, versus the Drew Gulak, representing the Gabadygooks. It's Drew Gulak. Actually, they're not called the Gabadygooks. I'm the only one to call them that because I'm an arse. That's what it is. So it's Drew Gulak versus Otis, and with, of course, Otis is representing the Alpha Academy, and with Otis is, of course, Chad Gable and Maxine Dupree and Akira Tozawa. And, of course, with the Drew Gulak, they are the Gabadygooks. It is a team of course, Charlie Dempsey, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne. Now, the question is, will Otis perform the perfect 4-point Otis, where he rams himself into the corner post or the steel steps? And if you said yes, you'll be right, because it was Otis crushing it. Now, this match was about 5.5 minutes also, Otis was crushing it for a minute or so until he runs himself into the ring post, just like this, like so. Then, Drew Gulak, he's got one move he did, just at the big spot in the match. He goes to the top ropes, and he does a flying clothesline. A flying clothesline, which I've never seen one like this. This was the most spectacular clothesline I've ever seen in wrestling. Drew Gulak throws a clothesline on Otis. Looked great. Couldn't get a pin, though. Otis throws him off. Drew Gulak did his best to stretch out Otis. Otis does not get stretched by Drew Gulak. Otis turns the things around eventually because, of course, it's Drew Gulak versus Otis. And Otis is going down to NXT. Otis will not lose this match. Otis gets Drew Gulak down and gets him with the caterpillar. He throws down the caterpillar. He stands up. And then with his greatest standing elbow. Otis, he doesn't get much height. But he has the size to make you not care how high he gets. He has got the size to make you think that, thank gosh, he can only get that high off his standing elbow. After that, it's the finishing move. It's the pop up from the chokeslam. Picks up Grass by the throat, throws him up, pop up powerbomb. Otis's finishing move. New finishing move, I suppose. I guess Kevin Owens isn't using the pop up powerbomb as a finisher anymore. He's got the stunner. Pow! So Otis, with a rare victory, very rare victory, but it is in the NXT, beating Drew Gulak. And they do the dance. They get all funky. So next up, we go backstage. There is with the possible alliance. It's Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton. That's right. Now, Kiana James, she's involved with the Iron Survivor match. Will she be in it? Who knows? She's got to qualify first. But, of course, there's some mutual respect happening there. That they both believe they're carrying the women's division. And I think it's very true. They're two great competitors. Kiana James, she's improving week by week. Always getting better. She looks great. She's got some great athleticism, and her matches are getting much better. Tiffany Stratton, she's just great. Her match, she just killed it. One heck of a competitor. So, yep, she doesn't mind. Tiffany Stratton doesn't mind Kiana James, even though one day they might fight each other in the Iron Survivor match. So with that, we go to an interesting segment. Very interesting indeed. We start with, JC Jane pacing back and forth upon the podium of the Chase U, talking about, I scratch your back. You should scratch my back. You should scratch my back. And then we got ourselves some representatives from the D'Angelo families handing in a message to Andre Chase, who's not apparently there. And then she goes and looks at it like, it's like, it would seem like she's the only one there. And then Andre Chase comes in there. What are you doing? Opening up mail is against the law. It doesn't belong to you. And then Fallon Henley, or I should say Thea Hale and Duke Hudson comes in there. And then they have the thing, And then we find out that there's a classes in session. This was all happening with people watching. With JC Jane pacing back forward, saying, you should scratch my back. It's like, what's going on? What is going on? Anyways, class gets dismissed. Everybody leaves, but JC Jane and Andre Chase, Yeah, and then Andre Chase ends up looking at the message, the letters, whatever he got. He's like, no, whoa, no. So he's really perturbed with what was inside the thing. Because apparently there's going to be a tag team rematch between, Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stacks Lorenzo versus Andre Chase and Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson, this might be the stipulation of the match, but it may not be. Maybe some sort of pictures. Anyways, after that, we got ourselves a big match. It is, of course, the main event match of the night. It's the Iron Survivor qualifiers, where they have Dijak versus the Swami, Tyler Bate, Mr. Swami himself. So this match here was about close to 10 minutes. Close to 10 minutes, baby. It was really good. Really, Dijak had the size. Tyler Bate has the smarts, the quickness, and he's the big, strong boy. They fight outside for a bit. Tyler Bate with the most, the hardest, most difficult, and scariest of all tope suicidas. Most complicated one, where you go over the top rope He just squashed Dijak like that. It was a good one. It was good. Dijak, however, when they were fighting outside, he grabs Tyler Bate and throws him in between the two barricades. The soft, gushy barricade that on front of the plexiglass barricade. And he throws him between the two. He falls down between the two. They fight on. Eventually, they get to the very secondest of ropes. The very secondest of ropes with a massive, mediocre suplex off the secondest of ropes. The women would be proud of this one. Where Dijak gets, it's almost like fisherman suplex. He gets picked up fisherman style, but then he gets dropped like a regular suplex. Anyways, Dijak does come back around. He gets the, you would call it the high justice choke slam. Ho ho ho! But it's, Tyler Bate kicks out of that one. Now, Tyler Bate does do he has his move. It's called the airplane spin. And he spins the holy bejeebus. The holy bejeebus at a Dijak. Just spins the holy hell out of him. Many times, maybe 15, 20 rotations. It was hilarious. He got all dizzy, like, trying to hit each other, falling down. What's that? Tyler Bate ends up getting the slingshot. His patent, he runs up the ropes, he slingshots it off his shoulders, and he spins around and does a massive lariat. He gets out to Dijak, But however, they fight on. Tyler Bate goes to the top rope, he jumps off top rope, he gets caught by Dijak. Dijak turns out into the feast. Your eyes! He knocks the holy hell out of Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate gets knocked out. And that match was one hell of a match. There were some great matches in this night tonight. Dijak with a massive victory. So after that, we go and have a little one-on-one discussion. It is Carmelo Hayes. He talks about Trick Williams. Trick Williams comes out there and he's basically talking about Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Without Trick Williams, there will be no Carmelo Hayes. Stuff like that. Trick's like, yes, I put everything on hold for you. I did everything for you. And you know what? When I'm in your corner, Melo never misses. But where were you? Where were you when I needed you? Basically, it's like that, And basically, it's like, who attacked Trick Williams before his big number one contendership match? Trick Williams didn't see. He just got knocked in the back of the head, and then later on he heard Carmelo Hayes' voice. He figured he can stick one and one together. And that's where Lexus King comes in. Everybody's like, "Hey, can you let the adults talk, please? A little man, please go." So Lexus King ignored all that, and he carried on. And he comes in there. He's summing up the storyline of that doesn't belong. Doesn't have anything involving him. He's interjecting himself with that. Basically, I guess, why is he there? Because he's the one who attacked. Everybody knows it. So he's like, well, you know what? I think you should admit it, Trick Williams. You should admit it that, you know that Carmelo has attacked you. But then again, anybody could attack you like me. And like, yeah, well, we kind of believe that. The fans actually kind of like, yep, yeah, we kind of believe you did it. But anyways, Trick Williams gets all hot and bothered, and he wants to punch somebody. And he ends up clearly punching Carmelo Hayes in the face. I mean, he was like, Lexus was in front of him. Carmelo Hayes was a little bit far off, and he stretched out there. He punched back Lexus and punched Carmelo in the face. Carmelo didn't appreciate it. The first time Trick tried to get him back up, Carmelo's like, get that weak hand out of here. And eventually, he takes Trick Williams' hand to get up there. Lexus King leaves the ring, and then we got ourselves going off the air with the most uncomfortable hug you'll ever see. Trick Williams hugging the holy hell out of Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes had it up to here with Trick Williams, I think. But anyways, that does wrap it up for this week's episode of the NXT. And of course, for our podcast listeners, stay tuned for some more, The Wrestling Show. But for our YouTube audience, this is it for today. Stay tuned for another episode of The Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Lip Hazlewood, saying, I'll see you soon.